talking over the actual people speaking, but at the time that some of those complaints were coming in, it was 4 in the afternoon. The Gage Grosskreutz had already, disintegrated the state's case in like several ways, and
like his bicep.
And we were on some very useless testimony, and it was mostly foundational stuff which ultimately had no purpose. So we weren't talking over too much that was important, but we do try. But we are people, and we are still trying to provide that commentary as well. And you got to squeeze it in somewhere. But anyway, Legal Bites, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you.
Hi, happy to be back. I live here now. This is where I live.
Yeah, I feel like this channel is quickly becoming socialist. And but what I mean very specifically by that, it's where we all do the work, but only 1% of us gets any of the reward.
Hey, you know what? I've gotten plenty of reward here because my YouTube channel, my Twitter are just completely blowing up. I don't know what to do with myself anymore.
Comrade Ricada calls you for one last stream.
Yeah, how many subs did you pick up yesterday, Legal Bites?
Yesterday, I think, let's see, I was at like 8,500, and then I ended up like almost 12,000.
That's insane.
I know. That's considering the fact that last Thursday, I think I remember on the stream with Nick last Thursday when I was on for like just a few hours, I got to like 6,600, and I was so excited because I was like, "Ooh, like almost like two-thirds of my way to 10K. I'm so excited!" And I've almost like doubled since then. It's nuts. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's that's how YouTube works. Like you grind and you grind and you grind, and then poof, you get a big boost, and then you grind and you grind and you grind and hope for the next big boost.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a super chat here, and again, I will get to all of them, but Mike Sword and Scale says it must suck to be court TV and have this grifter get more views than they do with their live feed. It's not just more. It's been a lot more on this case. All right, and we've got Gonefall says they talked about you on Timcast IRL yesterday night. They would love to have you on. They said, "Do it, Rec. I am a gorilla. The frogs are." FBI deletes video. Mag says, "Thank you again for doing this. It's been entertaining, enlightening, has restored my faith in lawyers in general with people like you and your guests. Cheers." Ooh, I mean, again, someone said something similar last night, and I almost quit streaming forever. I'm not out here to humanize lawyers. In fact, quite the opposite. So
I will tell you, the popularity of your stream is actually very encouraging. That small channels can have an impact that's greater than mainstream media, and considering that mainstream media is so controlled, it's basically we see the will of the people to actually get information. And it doesn't matter if you don't have the legacy behind you. If you put out good content, the people will come. They'll find you. So
I mean, that's
very encouraging.
That clip of us yesterday, which is 15 seconds long, was, as far as I can tell, the dominant influencing news piece about the day, that day of Kyle Rittenhouse. And the best part of it is, I think that is the most accurate summary of how that day went, just in general. In 15 seconds, encapsulated the whole flow of that day. I mean, sure, there's other stuff happening, but when you read the news stories on it, what you find are them. I mean, they're focused on Gage Grosskreutz. They're ignoring all the other irrelevant witnesses that came out, and they're trying to spin it into a headline, and they couldn't do it anywhere as effectively as Gage saying, "That is correct."
Right. That was it. Right. And I just want to point out again, I pointed this out yesterday, but the fact that Sheriff Feasey was able to just get him to comply so well, like as soon as he did once, that he started off Gage Grosskreutz, he started off kind of fighting him on his assertions. Like he didn't want to agree that he was chasing Kyle Rittenhouse. He didn't want to agree to that. He didn't want to agree to, that he was pointing the gun. But then, like at a certain point, you could see that he got tired. He gave up and he just complied. And from that point on, he just agreed. He said, "Yep."
And
fair.
He wasn't even on the stand that long. I mean, in total, he was on the stand 3 hours. I mean, this is a major witness in a homicide case. He was on the stand for about 2 hours for the prosecution, and then that hour for the defense coming into lunch. And he folded in embarrassing fashion. It was not good. My dad asked why the prosecution wasn't able to manage him, and I said, "Well, Dad, he's a communist revolutionary who is bringing a gun into riots in a city he doesn't live in or work in for the purposes of participating in an Antifa protest." He wasn't, again, like Kyle, and I don't think Kyle should have been there personally.
I'm sure you can all hear me sipping my coffee. You're listening to Nick Rekieta and his crew
this guy's going
on
there to
their stream for the Kyle Rittenhouse case. If you're wondering what it is. Oh, it's not an open mic day either. I better change that.
Kind of
anyway, I'll be up in about, when the clock runs down,
but
I'll
that
be
was
there.
my
See
assessment of that. I don't know if you guys have any differing opinions on it.
I think he's all fluff and cheesy substance. You could see it in the way he was testifying, where he's doing the very unnatural thing of, here's the DA asking him questions, and he's like looking at him, and then he like does that really unnatural thing of looking at the jury and saying, "Yes, I was an EMT for 6 months." It was just like everything is like this fake type of thing about him, and fake people when they get drilled with hard questions, he crumbled like a little creme ball type of thing.
One day
bitches.
with a guest, I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to try and actually, for the entire show, turn every single time I address them. And people will see, again, the jury must have been sitting there going, "Why is he doing that?" It's so weird. It becomes like looking towards the jury and talking is one thing, but that big move becomes so performative. Oh, I'm conscious of the microphone and where I'm looking.
Especially on cross-examination, because where his answers are short, that movement looks way more awkward. Where he has to move a lot more. It's like he's getting a workout in.
Yeah.
And however much he was moving to us, we got to understand that the jury seeing that in court is 100 times more awkward. However we read that body language, the jury is looking at that and saying, "This guy is a weirdo. This guy is creepy." I mean, he just came off as so still.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
Got so much more context to that. Think about that. Think about everything
And
we saw that we
smug
didn't see.
attitude. He had this look on his face the whole time of like, "You're going away, Kyle. I'm Gabe. I'm the guy who's going away from me." And it's like, it was so cheesy. It was just, ugh.
Well, he was tweeting about it prior to the thing. The best part was just not yesterday, since that was his testimony day. The day before, he had sent out a tweet correcting the record about how he had every right to be there and every right to conceal and carry a gun. It's like, turns out, no, you didn't. That that carry permit was expired. So good work on that one, Gage. But so this is something that people brought up. I haven't had time to verify this. I don't know if you guys know anything. It was not really clear. They did not actually say his permit was expired. They said his permit was not valid.
Yeah, or not in force at that time or something like that.
Probably because he committed a couple crimes, perhaps, mayhaps.
Right. That's kind of the interesting thing is either he had a criminal conviction completely obliterate his carry permit, or he had a temporary probation where he was not allowed to have his gun at the time for whatever reason. And typically, though, I think that tends to destroy the permit in Minnesota, and you have to go get another one when you're done. They revoke it, but that's how it works here. Who knows? I'm not a
burglary conviction in 2015, right? That's what.
Yeah, but that's a long time ago, and
Yeah,
his
he
carry
should fix that by now.
Yeah.
carry permit was longer. His burglary
there was someone there and
conviction was
video
expunged.
recording the jury, which
Oh.
The officers approached the person and required her, I didn't even ask, to delete the video and return the phone to him. I've instructed that if it happens again, they're to take the phone and bring it here. So that's for your information.
How are you
Number two,
allowing?
unless there's some request, I'm not going to address anything further about our conversation of yesterday.
So that's
Closed
the chamber's
and, later.
conversation.
And then,
How's that person not in contempt?
you know, I don't know the answer to that. You could talk to the lieutenant when you get a chance. And then for the reasons stated in the brief, which was filed by Mr. Kraus, the motion for reconsideration on count 6 is denied. All right, anything else?
We were talking about exhibits that hadn't been moved that I think the parties are in agreement to.
Okay.
So 64, 65, 66, 67, 76.
We'll explain
and
what happened in a
77,
second, guys.
are ones that are agreed upon. The only one that's not agreed is the statement.
So, hi guys, this is me watching Rakita's stream. We're not going to watch Rakita's stream and we'll watch the trial. I'm going to get caught up when we get here, unless there's some breaking news in it. But this is this case is cracking me up. And for my 700th episode, I'm shocked that I'm doing this instead of celebrating. But you know, 700 is a weird number anyway. It's not like it's just one of those. It's another 100, right? I'll have a big celebration at my 1000th episode, which is coming up in, I think, around February. I can't remember. Oh, maybe not even that close. Well, anyway, it's coming up. No, that'd be like sometimes next year. We'll figure it out. So, welcome to the show. I see a lot of you already in the chat, and I'm just gonna have fun with this today. There's yesterday in this Rittenhouse trial, dude. It was the witness that was supposed to be their star witness. Holy Hannah, that guy. Well, I already put it in a tweet. The defense team should be prosecuted for a murder of a witness because they destroyed him. And there's so many people out there just hanging on so hard to this, and I don't get it. There's just so many people so highly invested in Kyle Rittenhouse being a murderer, guilty of something, yada or another. And if they're not watching the trial, that's why. Because even you know, if you know who David Pakman is, even David Pakman had a hard time with this. He's like, well, that's not good for the prosecution. This witness was terrible, and we're going to get into that. But basically what I want to do today, as much as I'd love to sit here and watch the trial, I'm going to watch it on my own time. I want to go into and if you want to watch the trial, up there in the pinned tweet, there is the link to Rakita's stream, and that's my favorite place to watch it. Or he has a link to where you can watch it without any commentary at all. That's up to you. Or you can watch me and then go. I watch it on 1.5 times speed as soon as I leave the stream, and watch it the whole day. If it goes the whole day, I don't know if the defense is going to ask for a judgment now, but well, we'll see. You'll see what's up. It seems also weird. It seems like the chat is way farther behind than the stream than normal. But anyway, real quick before I go into the intro, thank you, Teresa the Kid, for sponsoring the show this morning. I already gave you your bell, and you are the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Oh no, it's not. It didn't show up. What the hell? Oh, it's a YouTube. Oh, that's because it's a super chat. So you're not the Streamlabs Superstar donor of the day, because that only happens with Streamlabs donors. But Furry Kitten, Furry Kitten, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. There you go. Thank you, Furry Kitten. I appreciate that for sponsoring the show. Who says, Well, sometimes at 223 is disarming. Oh, we have protest self-defense shooting jokes. Yes. Yeah, I also like how Ranting Monkey calls him UNICEF. Yes, UNICEF. Okay, wait a minute. Hang on, I'm curious though. I want to see if the prosecution's finished here.
Yeah.
So let's go back to this for just a second.
Guilty somehow. So yeah.
But anyway, today we're going to talk about how the media
I agree with
is
that,
covering this,
because
and
the
Twitter in
jury
particular,
instruction is
because
under
it's
18 in possession
it's
of
almost a point
dangerous
of being
weapon.
insidious.
And under the law,
So hang on a
an
second here.
AR-15 qualifies as a dangerous weapon, and Kyle Rittenhouse is clearly under 18 at the time. So on those jury instructions, it's likely going to be found guilty of the misdemeanor minor in possession charge, unless the jury just decides to nullify.
You're aware, of course, of the incident at the bus pickup this morning, and I've been assured that the officers had the video which had been taken had been deleted.
Oh, it was outside the courtroom. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, apparently. So there's been some noise that someone was recording in the courthouse, and apparently someone related to George Floyd, or not related, but who called himself his nephew, tweeted, "Can't hear me?" Oh, I know, I turned it down. I hope you can hear me. Anyway, he tweeted that someone was taking pictures of the jurors in case they get the wrong verdict. That's not cool. He should be charged with. He should be picked up on some kind of federal charges, terrorist threats against a jury in particular. But anyway, no, I turned down. I turned down Rakita. I turned it down. I just want to see if there's any emotions. I want to see. The only reason I came into this stream today because I wanted to see if the prosecution had finished their portion of the trial. But apparently they're calling another witness.
Brother, can you spare a bicep?
I do.
Okay, so we'll just listen for a second. Then we're gonna get into my stream.
Who is this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Mr. Armstrong, can you please state your first name?
Oh, Big Boy's doing it.
I have a weird voice.
James Armstrong, JAMES, ARMST.
Or lack of arm.
Sorry.
And Mr. Armstrong, how are you
Poor guy's
employed?
nervous.
I'm a senior forensic imaging specialist with the Wisconsin State Crime Lab in Milwaukee.
Okay, who cares? This is going to be boring. All right, so the prosecution's going to try to bore the jury to death today, try to get them to forget about the testimony from yesterday from Gaze Grosskreutz. Anyway, but before we do that, yeah, I kind of need to play the intro. So, Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight.
Okay, stop the damn music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Tuesday, the 9th of November, 2009, my nephew's birthday. I got to call him today. And also the day, the 1 day anniversary of the death of what's his name? Grosskreutz on this witness stand, because he really stunk it up for the prosecution yesterday. And if I don't move this over, I'm going to be looking at this trial all day. I'm not going to watch this anymore for today yet. Anyway, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that I'm here. I had a lovely trip to Denver playing golf with my son. Not everything went perfect, but the golf was fun and hanging out with my son was fun. And it was one of those times where my son was just really happy to see me. And that was good. It was a great feeling, just, because, your kids move away and then it's like, whatever. And then dad comes to Denver and your son is like, oh God, it's so good to see you and shit. So that felt really good. And it's also the day that like I said, we're in mourning over the death of Gage Grosskreutz, whatever his name is. And we'll get to that in a minute. Real quick, Gamer Valine's in the house, and thank you, Gamer Valine, for the donation, aka sponsor of the show. And Gamer Valine,
You are the new Streamlabs
superstar sponsor of the day.
China is asshole.
There you go. Thank you very much. Who says? And she went to the little heavier version of the AR-15 with a 5.56, saying a baseball bat, car, and chef's knives are classified as a dangerous weapon under the law. The law is based on the use of said item. Yes, just about anything can be a dangerous weapon. But so you're wondering why that only the AR weapon that Mr. Rittenhouse was considered a dangerous weapon, but. Yeah, I think they mean firearms because it's in Wisconsin, the statute's specifically about firearms. And so in Wisconsin, you must be 18 years old to possess to own a firearm. And there are certain exceptions for certain types of firearms for 16 and 17-year-olds in the state of Wisconsin. And that's just possession of a firearm. Now, the thing that the defense is questioning in this case, there is a part of the statute in Wisconsin that allows 16 and 17-year-olds to carry long guns, aka not shortened versions of rifles, which Kyle Rittenhouse had. And the jury's going to have to decide that for some reason because the judge is not going to throw out the request for a dismissal of that charge. So we'll just see what the jury comes up with because the law is a little bit ambiguous. I personally think the judge should make a judgment on that, but his judgment was that he's going to let it to stand as a charge. So that's interesting. And thank you, Gamer Verleen, for bringing that up. I appreciate you very much. Okay, now, before we get into it, I am going to say good morning like I always do. And then we'll get into the show because I want to show you how Twitter is. This show is going to be how Twitter and the media is treating the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Because I'll tell you about the blood later. First in the chat today is Advocatus Diablo, the Devil's Advocate. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And thanks for being Johnny on the spot. Also, good morning, Furry Kitten, who deemed this stream officially lurked. So lurking is good. Also, good morning, Somnambule Nation, Mike Savage, Blarg, Select Boys in the house. Yeah, also, good morning to Fox P2. Let's see, I already said Mike. Attack Alpaca's here. Good morning. And let's see, I got to scroll down a little bit. James Colley, who says happy 700th stream. By the way, this is the 700th episode of the Morning Night Live. I think I already mentioned that. Good morning to Kay Schultz in the house. Nice to see you, Jonathan Peterson. Teresa the Kid. John Arnott. Also, good morning to Diesel Dave. Oh my gosh. Who's that guy? Nice to see you. Smash the like button and thank you very much. And hi to you too. Hello, Maddie, who's going to be soon to be another, and again, I'm going to say semi-permanent resident of Minnesota, as in you're setting up house here. Congratulations on finding a place. Also, good morning, Paul Farrell, Zach to the Future. That's a great name. I love that name. Also, good morning, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Special K on Acid. Don Julio, Golf City Biker and Trash Man. And I think that might be it. Is that everybody? Oh, there's still a whole bunch of people. Special K on Acid's here. And Tyler F's here. Black Hebrew is your light.
That's right.
Also, good morning to, I said Maddie already. Jesse Leon's in the house. Nice to see you. Patrice Ripley, the official PDawgKnight Channel K-pop aficionado. Okay, that's everybody. And thanks for being here. 29 people, 30 people already here. Oh my God. Hit the like button. There's only 15 likes. Do it now before you forget. And then also, Katie the Skates here. Also going to be lurking. Thank you for being here. And during the show, if you like what we do, hit the like button, share the stream before, during, after the show. And you can sponsor the show in a number of ways. Super chats. If you don't want to give Susan 30% of your money, go through Streamlabs at PDawgKnight.live. You can watch the show there and chat from there too at PDawgKnight.live. And then there's a couple other ways to do it down in the description below. And leave a comment in the comment section if you are watching a replay at this moment. That way I can know that you were here and I can sometimes say hi back or just hit the little heart thingy just to tell you that I saw it. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I hope you're all having a number weekend. Oh, I'm not questioning the nature of the law. I'm questioning the vagueness of the description. Selective description helps the prosecution. Oh, Yeah, I think that was just I hear you. I think that was just the judge's description though. So, but yeah, you're right. It does. Well, does it help the prosecution? I don't know. I'm sure they'll have the language of the law available to the jury if they request it, which would not shock me that they request it, because it is a vague reading of the law. So anyway, I want to talk about the the only murder that is confirmed. Well, it's not the only one, but the only murder that was confirmed in this case as of yesterday, and that was of the prosecution's case and witness. Uncle Bad Touch is here. I know who you are.
Come on, man.
Nice to see you back. I have a steering wheel stuck in my crotch, and it's driving me nuts. Good morning. Oh, that was very good. Okay. Oh, some people are arguing on my Twitter feed. That's fantastic. I love it. So straw purchases are, what the hell is she talking about? Oh my God. Anyway. Oh my God. It's just, this poor lady just doesn't know what to do with herself. So anyway, yeah. Let's see her. I'm just reading. I'm sorry. I'm just on Twitter while I'm doing the show, but I'm just looking at this going, one day at a time. Anti-racism activist. Oh, I love it when white girls are anti-racist activists. Okay, so. All right. So anyway, let's get into the show, because you don't want to watch me read Twitter all morning. So as I've been watching this trial now, some of you are paying attention to the trial. Some of you may not be paying attention to it as closely as I am. I'm watching every single minute of it. And yesterday's witness, Gage Grosskreutz, truly was, some insanity, but also the way it's being covered seems to be insanity. So we're going to go into this. Grosskreutz basically got on the stand, and the prosecution tried to make him out as this angelic figure who was going to help, and he was using his training as a paramedic or whatever, not a paramedic, what is it called? Anyway, so one of those people that ride on ambulances, and that he was there to help people, and he was just filming to record and whatever, and then and just, first of all, it didn't even really, with the defense, and then the defense spent all their time about him getting shot, how he went to the hospital and he was damaged and whatever, but they didn't really get into and his fear and this and that, and so they tried to make him out to be this angel, and the defense and their cross, EMT, thank you, Colleen Burnett, and thank you for being here, by the way, and Sean King too. Just tore him to shreds. First of all, got him to admit that he lied to the police who interviewed him afterwards, and he had lied to the FBI who interviewed him afterwards, and he lied in his civil case, not mentioning that he was carrying a weapon and actually pointed it at Kyle Rittenhouse, and then also had to admit that he pointed the gun at Kyle Rittenhouse, and the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse did not shoot him when he first had his hands up, but then when he turned back around with his gun pointed at him, that's when he got shot. He had to admit to all of it, and there was even, it was just embarrassing. Now, that's the Reader's Digest version, okay, or the Cliff Notes version of what happened yesterday. And the best way to tell you how that particular part of the trial was going for the defense can be seen in a single picture, and this is the single picture of how it was going for the prosecution. This dude right here, and he was pissed. And also I've seen this picture several times, and I see, this is the defense lawyer, and this is one of the prosecutors. He's not looking happy. Clearly, he's not looking happy. But then I just noticed this morning, this guy in the corner who looked like he's a live witness to a murder. Yeah, Gamer Bleed, that was bullshit, by the way. Your suspension, I'm like, give me a fucking break. That was embarrassing. Anyway, this guy looked like he's witnessing a murder in real time. But this is how it's going for the prosecution right now. It's hilarious, and I hate to laugh at it, but I can't stop from laughing at it. So anyway, I want to show you though how Twitter is treating this, and I'm going to go back to I got some notifications here. There's just more people. These people are still arguing in my feeds. Anyway, some PDs around the country weren't asked to stand down. Would citizens feel the need to help protect each other? In your game, your rules. Enjoy. Now it's funny. Wait, black man, white officer, black, white, some fires, white church, same disinterest, so many fools. This is Kyle, a white man shot 3 white men after he was chased and attacked. How about that detail? Yeah, this woman's trying to make it about race, and this white boy's gonna walk, and she's white herself. You're white. Anyway, I gotta get it. I can't help it. Every time I get on Twitter, this is how I am. I'm like, come on. Anyway, so here's how Twitter. Now I tweeted this morning. The reason so many people are so stuck on their own narrative still about this case, I believe is part of it's because they're not watching the actual trial, right? That is a problem because when you have preconceived notions and you don't actually watch the trial, those preconceived notions can never be broken, right? Oh, I'm not doing an argument on Twitter. I'm telling you how the media is covering this. We're not going to spend time on the Twitter thing. I'm talking to you, Gamer Bleed. The reason though that people don't know how it's going is because of bullshit like this. Now, Twitter usually features things that are happening in the world, right? And they write a description, and then they'll guide you to multiple articles about the case. And so I'm going to go through a couple of these just to see how this is, just to see why people may not know what the fuck's going on in this trial, why they don't know that yesterday's witness was destroyed, and that probably the defense, or excuse me, the prosecution, who still hasn't ended their case, has pretty much made the defense's case for them with their witnesses. Their witnesses have been awful for the prosecution. And again, thank you, Gamer Valine, who said argument on Twitter, lurked, engaged. Yeah, I've already addressed this, but that's what I was talking about when I said no, don't disengage, because I'm not going to spend time on a Twitter argument. I'm going to show you how the media is covering this because it's fascinating. And it's also, so it's not only is it fascinating how they are covering the case, but how they promote their case on Twitter by the tweet. Because a lot of times, if you're watching, if they want you to read something, they want to get clicks, they're going to give you this really clickbaity headline, right? They'll give you a really clickbaity tweet to get you to go click into their, click in their description. And then when they write their articles, they'll write what's important to them, the writer, in the beginning of the article. So this is, so I'm going to go through some of that. But here's how Twitter describes it. Now, this is fascinating because yesterday we had a witness on the stand, or well, more than one, but there's several witnesses. But the star witness was, what the hell's his name? I know it's Grosskreutz. It's Gabe or something like that. Well, it says right here, Gage Grosskreutz, right? Here's how, good morning, Devil Fruit Zero and Johnny Hellcat, by the way. So here's their description. U.S. National News Live. Homicide trial of Kyle Rittenhouse continues in Kenosha. Now, you can tell by this description that they're pushing a certain narrative by highlighting certain things. Listen carefully. Quote, the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse continues in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Rittenhouse, who is now 18 years old, faces charges of homicide and other offenses related to shooting and killing Joseph Rosenbaum, 36, and Anthony Huber, 26, as well as injuring Gage Grosskreutz, now 27, in August 2000. Very factual, right? Perfect. That's exactly how it should be written. I have no issue with how that is written. Now, but they continue. Rather than describing anything from the trial yesterday, like they sometimes would in another case, here's their continued description. Rittenhouse, who was 17 at the time, shot the 3 men while walking in Kenosha, Wisconsin with an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle as people protested the shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man, by a white police officer, and raided and set fire to some stores, according to the Associated Press. Now, that description is trying to get you to go somewhere, because it's it's not even accurate. First of all, it's not accurate. We're going to read along. We're going to read this part of the description again, and then I'm going to tell you how it should have been. Well, I don't know if it should have been written this way, but I'm going to give you more of a factual update to this description. So here's their description. Rittenhouse, who was 17 at the time, accurate, shot the 3 men, accurate, while walking in Kenosha with the AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle? What? What? While he was walking in Kenosha? Is that at the time? Shot the 3 men while walking in Kenosha. Just like, oh, there's some random guys there, and I'm walking in Kenosha with my AR-15, and I just shot him. That's how it worked. That's how it happened. Oh yes, that's exactly how it happened. What? How about? And even if they don't want to make it sound like, even if they don't want to make it sound like there was a self-defense part, that's not how any of it is described in the trial. This is Dave. This trial's gone on for an entire week plus 2 a day. That doesn't accurately describe anything. Rittenhouse, who was 17 at the time, shot the 3 men during various scuffles. I don't know. Or something. First of all, he wasn't walking when he shot them. They weren't shot randomly. That makes it sound like they were shot randomly. If they're going to be accurate, he was shot the first man while he was being attacked, and shot the second 2 while he was being attacked. He shot the third guy who got shot was pointing a weapon at his head. The second guy who got shot had hit him with a skateboard. Oh, the other thing, one of the things that Grosskreutz said during the testimony yesterday too, and because they made a big deal about his expertise as an EMT and working as a paramedic, and so the defense asked him about the guy in front of him who hit Kyle Rittenhouse with a skateboard, right? and he testified during his testimony. Now that's supposed to be an expert witness, and perhaps if the prosecution had been listening, they would have objected to this. But he actually testified that a skateboard could cause head trauma if you were hit with it. He was a better witness for the defense than he was for the prosecution. So that shows that a skateboard could be a dangerous weapon that could cause severe bodily injury. It was incredible that the prosecution didn't object and say, objection, witness is not an expert. But the problem is they already made him out to be an expert on these protests and trauma and whatever. For this is his training as an EMT. By the way, his EMT license expired in 2017. And also he's he has an affiliation with some communist revolutionary group, by the way. That was hilarious. Prosecution showed the HD video of the shooting. Oh, from, is that just now? Here, hang on. Let me go over to, are they showing it? Uh-oh. Here, hang on a second.
That's fine. Videos are done at certain speeds, so certain
Okay, this guy's they're just going over details of the video. I'm going to watch that later. I'm not going to do it. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was reacting to Black Hebrew Israelite, whose music should be coming in about now. Well, maybe not. Anyway, it'll be here in a second. Back to this sentence, though. This sentence is incredible. Okay, so, there you go. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
For sponsoring the show through YouTube Super Chats. And he says, the prosecution showed the HD video of the shooting. Yes, they did.
That's right.
Thank you very much for sponsoring the show, as you often do. Thank you, sir. So again, this sentence, it shot 3 men while walking Kenosha with the AR-15. And, the whole AR-15 thing, they love to say that over and over because an AR-15 is a scary black weapon, which I'm somewhat familiar. Go back 10 minutes. Oh, okay. They showed it this morning. Oh, good. We'll have to see that. Good morning, C. Thomas. How you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome back, man. I haven't seen you in a long, long time. Is it just me or is the prosecution just doing the defense job for them? They kind of are. That is true. All right, back to this sentence. So they got it. So, yeah, this is a fail. They did not shoot the men while walking Kenosha with the AR-15 semi-automatic rifle. That's a poorly constructed sentence, and it gives you the impression that he was just running around with an AR-15 shooting people like a mass shooter or some shit like that. And he wasn't. That's not at all. In fact, most of the time he was walking around Wisconsin, he was offering people medical aid. Anyway, then the sentence continues. As people protested the shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man by a white police officer. Now, why do they keep putting that in there? Oh, yes, they're getting the protest bona fides of what's happening, and this is a white kid. I'm not surprised they didn't say Kyle Rittenhouse, who is white. But if they would have done that, then they would have had to say Kyle Rittenhouse, who is white, shot Joseph Rosenbaum, who is white, and Anthony Huber, who is white, and Gage Grosskreutz, who is white. So that's why they didn't do it there. Anyway, that's some fluff that the people want, that Twitter's putting in there to make it more ominous. Oh, he's shooting people at a protest for a black man who was shot by a white police officer. Oh, wait, did the Kenosha Police Bureau and the FBI and the Justice Department all say that was a justified shooting? Oh, no mention of that in here, but that's what the protests were for. And according to the Associated Press, yeah, they kind of suck too right now. I'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, and then they finish with this. Rittenhouse has pleaded not guilty to the charges and says he acted in self-defense. Okay, sure, he did. Oh, and then they mentioned here. Now, I don't understand why they did this last sentence. A white juror was dismissed ahead of the second day of testimony on Thursday after telling a joke about Blake's shooting to a sheriff's deputy who reported the incident. CNN, this is CNN, and the Daily Beast reported. Oh, so it's interesting. So their sources so far from the Twitter sources are the Associated Press, CNN, and the Daily Beast. I wonder which way the Daily Beast leans on this particular trial case situation, whatever you want to call it. And thank you, Furry Kitten, with another 223 on the 700th episode of the Morning Night Live. Thank you for sponsoring the show. And let's see. What is I going to do here? Oh, you get one of these. And one of these. Who says, oh, yes, the groups that he had no affiliation with at all, that he appeared at their rallies, spoke at, gave a fist, incited actions, and only remembered the fact when pointed that had several members in the courtroom potentially intimidated jurors. These are all true facts. Furry Kitten is absolutely paying attention to the trial. All right. So anyway, so that's how Twitter does it. Then now when I saw this morning, the first news outlet they had on here listed was MSNBC. Now apparently, I think it might be getting around to them that I criticized that, because the article that MSNBC had up here is this one. This was the first this morning on Twitter. If you would have clicked this thing by Twitter, this is the first article under this thing about the trial, right? It's about the trial, right? In fact, they say the Kyle Rittenhouse trial continues. The very first tweet they had it under the examples of this was this from MSNBC. Thank you, Teresa the Kid, for sponsoring the show. I appreciate you very much. For another for another 99. Thank you very much, Teresa the Kid. All right, and good morning, King. Good morning, Tales of Gore. The first thing they had up here, this is MSNBC tweet, an article. Quote, when the judge allows these victims to be described as criminals, that certainly calls into question his judgment, if not his bias, Paul Butler says of the trial judge's statement about the people shot and killed by Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, before I even click on the article, which I shall, and I'll open the link because that link will be in the in the description, or in the one tab thing. You know, every article I touch will be available to you on in the description down below. In the second paragraph, I put a single link that has all the articles in it. Okay. Well, first of all, the judge didn't say he allowed the victims to be described as criminals. He said, now, granted, he said if you want to call them arsonists or whatever, you can, but you need to have proof that they've done something, right? Didn't say that you're allowed to describe them as criminals. You're allowed to describe actions that they did during that evening, whether they were rioting or protesting or burning shit or breaking shit or stealing shit. You're allowed to say it if you have proof that they were doing those things. But if you don't have proof, then you can't do that, right? So that's that. By the way, they had ample proof that the first so-called victim, according to them, was doing a lot of stupid shit and whatever. They had it all in video. So anyway, but why is this the first article that was up this morning? This has nothing to do with the trials events of yesterday. This says homicide trial of Kyle Rittenhouse continues. This is not a continuation. So let's look a little bit at this article real quick, and I'll just to show you what they promote. It's a video. How long is this, I wonder? Video begins at only 27 seconds. Anyway, here's the problem. The judge said that you cannot call them victims because unless you prove your case, because if it is self-defense, they're not necessarily victims, okay? Other than victims of their own circumstance, I guess. But a victim is something that if someone was convicted, then maybe you could say it. All right, let's see what this jackass says.
Today is day 6 in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, the Illinois teen who killed 2 people and wounded a third during protests.
So somebody's sitting in for Joy Reid. I don't know who this guy is. Let's see if we can just get to this guy, because I don't want to hear the preliminary nonsense. Oh, wait a second. Oh, hang on. Oh, so they did actually listen to the trial. Let's see what they did here. Let's see what they do.
Today is day 6 in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, the Illinois teen who killed 2 people and wounded a third during protests after the death of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin last year.
Anybody catch that? What did he get wrong there? After the what? After the what? After the
death of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Death of Jacob Blake? That'll be news to Jacob Blake that he's dead. Anyway.
Last year, jurors heard from the lone survivor.
Oh, the lone survivor. Let's see what parts of the testimony MSNBC shows us. Well, this will be good. This will be good. Protest, yeah. The other, well, that's part of it too. The protest. But I was thinking, wait a minute, when did Jacob Blake die? He didn't. He's still alive. He's in a wheelchair, but he didn't die.
Grosskreutz, who was training to become an EMT and was providing care to anyone who needed.
Whoa, they got that wrong too. Who was training to be an EMT? No, he had already trained to be an EMT, and he actually worked for a year on a transportation bus. So it was a colloquial name for it, which is he wasn't good enough to go out on actual calls with paramedics and stuff. He basically was on an ambulance that transferred patients from one hospital to another hospital, but he already was an EMT, a licensed EMT, and his license has not been active since 2017. So they got that wrong. Let's see what else they get wrong.
Needed it. That deadly night in Kenosha, Grosskreutz came across Rittenhouse after he had shot and killed Joseph Rosenbaum and was about to kill Anthony Huber. Grosskreutz.
False. Grosskreutz had seen Kyle earlier in the night. That's not the first time he came across Kyle. And I'm basing this on Grosskreuz's testimony. Also, wait, what did he say? Let me go back here. What the hell did he say?
Rosenbaum and was about to kill Anthony Huber. Grosskreutz acknowledged that he was.
Well, that's the third time he came upon Kyle, because the second time he came upon Kyle was leaving the scene of the shooting of the dickhead Rosenbaum, and actually Kyle spoke with him and said that he said he was going to the police. Now apparently Grosskreutz thought he heard I am with the police, but either way, why he ended up chasing after Kyle after he said he's with the police or going to the police is interesting. Just interesting little detail. And he claimed he wasn't chasing Kyle, but then he actually caught up with Kyle, and then the rest is history. So anyway, there we go.
Was armed with a pistol, but says his hands were raised when he was shot by.
Oh, no, he did not say that. Oh my God. That is so fucking false. Holy shit, they got this wrong. Now do you understand why people don't know the whole story? Oh my God. Thank you, Gabriel Valine. You have lowered my blood pressure just by sponsoring the show. If you want to lower my blood pressure today, sponsor the show. Thank you. And you are still the superstar donor of the day, who says that woman couldn't even get LGBT correct for explaining what far right is. I might earn a suspension today. I'm not going to call her a Karen. Thank you, Gabriel Valine. You know how much I love you, woman. And then also, thank you, C. Thomas, who I haven't seen for so long. I'm so glad you're back, my friend, who says, I have no kind words for Joy Reid. She's a garmless, morally bankrupt, racist hack who is willing to propagandize for a check and defend gangbangers who kidnap and torture the autistic, all of because of the sins of the nation we fixed a century ago. And obviously, I appreciate you. Thank you for the sponsor of the show today. You are all wonderful people. All right, now, did you hear that bullshit that came out of this man's mouth? Even Gage Grosskreutz didn't say this. Listen to this. This is why, if you watch, Fox News did this this morning too. I'm not happy. Fox News did some bullshit this morning too. I mean, everyone covering this is so caught up in their own side when the only side should be justice that they want to paint things in certain ways, and it just pisses me off. News people, just tell the news, or just show his testimony. Don't fucking get it this freaking wrong. Listen to this bullshit again.
Rittenhouse.
No. Wait, hold on.
The defendant was.
Hang on.
Hands were raised when Grosskreutz acknowledged that he was armed with a pistol, but says his hands were raised when he was shot by Rittenhouse.
That is a lie. He did not say that. He said he raised his hands when he went up to him. But in cross and photos, there are pictures of him pointing the gun at what's his name? Kyle Rittenhouse. Anyway, let's listen to this bullshit. Let's see what selective clip they chose. I bet it's the clip from when the prosecution is asking him questions. Let's just find out.
I thought that the defendant was an active shooter.
Did you now?
And
really? The one who just told you he was with the police or going to the police? Actually, he said he was going to the police, although Grosskreutz said something about with the police and I didn't do it and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, thank you, Teresa the Kid, in advance because the music's about to play and you get response to the show once again. All right, now, I'm sorry, I cut off what the yes, and this is the prosecution. This guy right here is one of the prosecutors. So I knew they'd use a selective clip for the prosecutors. I'll be interested to see if they use any of the clips while the defense was up there, but we'll see because I guarantee, well, we'll see, just a second.
And like I had mentioned earlier, anytime you add a firearm into the equation, like I said, the stakes are so much higher.
Anytime you add a firearm to the equation, the stakes are higher. Huh? Because you had a Glock, a 40 millimeter Glock in your hand. That I could have sworn that was a firearm. Anyway.
For somebody potentially being seriously injured.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is when he's still being an angel.
What was going through your mind at this particular moment?
Oh, he practiced this.
That I was going to die.
Oh, that's interesting. Did you hear him say anything about his hands up when he was shot? The guy just said, he said the hands were up when he was shot. Did you hear that in that testimony there? I didn't hear it in that testimony there. Ha! Fascinating. All right, let's go.
He then testified that after Rittenhouse killed Huber, he trained his weapon on the witness and reloaded.
Wait a minute. Oh, he's saying that Kyle. Oh, this is the other thing. This guy just said he trained his witness on whatever and reloaded. That's not what he said. This guy's just full of shit.
Accepting his gesture.
He says that what's the word? He racked his gun. But if you watch it, there's no evidence that he even did that because if there's a jam or something, whatever, you have to either eject one of the bullets, whatever. Anyway. But he didn't say he reloaded. There wasn't even time to reload. Anyway, here we go.
Of surrender, Grosskreutz then thought to disarm the shooter.
How?
I was never trying to kill the defendant.
Really? Because you never.
I was never.
Well, how would you going to disarm the shooter by pointing your gun at him? But this is the prosecution testimony. When they get to the defense testimony, oh shit.
Never something that I was trying to do. In that moment, I was trying to preserve my own life.
Okay.
But doing so while also taking the life of another is not something that I'm capable or comfortable in doing.
Grosskreutz was
now, also, in that testimony, after this guy said something about disarming the Rittenhouse, did he say anything about disarming Rittenhouse in that piece of testimony they used as an example of him saying that he was going to disarm Rittenhouse? Anybody? Because apparently a lot of people heard that he was trying to disarm Rittenhouse. And I just figured out where they got that information from. They got it from this dickhead who lied, who's just making shit up because he never said anything about disarming Rittenhouse. All he said I never intended on shooting Rittenhouse. I was scared for okay, you're pointing a gun at him because what? I don't know. Anyway.
Shot, describing to the court that Rittenhouse vaporized his arm, his word, tearing away much.
When did he say that, though? When did he say that? Let's see if they use the whole clip or just, we'll see.
To the bicep. Jurors looked away as the state showed the moment Rittenhouse shot Grosskreutz.
Okay, let's see it.
At one point,
let's see it. Show
according
it.
to pool notes.
Show it, because he's pointing a gun when this happens. Show it. MSNBC, you lying piece of shit.
A juror nodded in agreement as the judge instructed the jury to disregard Grosskreuz's description of the shooting of a protester as, quote, murder.
Right, because you don't know if it's murder. If it's self-defense, it's not murder. That's what they're there to determine. But these guys are saying that the judge is biased because he won't let him call it murder. No, that's what the jury is there to determine. Let's see how much of this explanation that the judge gives they actually show, because it's very, very it's important. Okay, let's see if they do it.
Joining me now is Paul.
Oh, they didn't use any of it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now he brings out an expert to tell you how biased the judge is. Oh, this is incredible. By the way, this is me watching this for the first time. I didn't watch this clip, but I'm so glad I'm watching it now.
Butler, former federal prosecutor and Georgetown law professor. Paul, great to see you. Would love to get your reaction to Grosskretz's testimony, because I always thought that, you know, folks like the good guy with a gun, but also this judge.
Good guy with a gun? Well, clearly the good guy with a gun who lied to the police about what happened after who said he said he dropped his weapon before he ever went to Kyle Rittenhouse, and said, and then they said, they asked him, oh, wait a minute, so you lied to the police? Yes. You lied to the FBI? Yes. He admitted to lying. And then, you know, when he was pointing the gun at Kyle, he's saying, well, I would never shoot anybody because I'm afraid, you know, that's not the type of person I am. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, what did this guy say again? Because there's something in this question I want to react to.
Because I always thought that, you know, folks like the good guy with a gun.
Except he can't be a good guy with a gun, according to Kyle. He's not a good guy with a gun. Now, if this were truly a active shooter situation, someone out just shooting random people, and then he did that, I would consider him a good guy with a gun, even if he had it illegally. But in this case, Kyle is saying self-defense. That doesn't make, in Kyle's mind, this guy a good guy with a gun. But this guy's spinning I feel like I'm in a spin cycle in my freaking washing machine or something. He's spinning so hard.
But also this judge and his actions in this case.
The judge is perfectly fine. He's right down the middle. It's a Democratic city. He was appointed by a Democratic governor. It's bullshit. But this guy, they're going to complain about the judge. Oh, this judge was terrible. There should be riots because of the judge.
Jonathan, the prosecution has a tough case proving attempted murder because Mr. Grosskreutz himself was armed. He testified that
he wasn't just armed. He wasn't just armed. Because originally he came up to Kyle with his hands up and Kyle didn't shoot. But then he turned around, Kyle didn't shoot, turned back, Kyle didn't shoot, and then as he pointed the gun at Kyle, that's when Kyle shot. That's why it's tough for the prosecution on this part of this part of the testimony by Kyle Grosskreutz. But let's see what this guy keeps saying.
I was afraid that Mr. Rittenhouse was going to kill him. On cross-examination, the defense got this witness to admit that it wasn't until he was pointing his gun at Rittenhouse that Rittenhouse fired.
And so what does that tell you, sir? What does that tell you? He admitted that, and everyone saw it on tape. It's not, or video, or whatever you call it these days. What should he be saying after this? He should say, well, this is clearly can be considered self-defense, and that's what makes it hard for the prosecution. Thank you, Maddie, with the YouTube Super Chat, who says, now, P-Dawg. They had to shop around until they found the right expert witness that would agree with them. You are absolutely correct, Maddie. And that's how it works on MSDNC. All right, let's see how he finishes this sentence.
Bolster Rittenhouse's claim that he shot in self-defense because he believed that he faced a deadly threat.
Yes.
Wait, but Paul, we just heard the Grosskretz's testimony where he said he thought it was an active shooter.
Doesn't matter. Look, here in this case, and I've been listening to the guys on the Rakita stream. In theory, they both could say it was self-defense, okay? Grosskreutz could say, yes, he was acting self-defense. He thought it was an active shooter. He thought he was trying to put the shooter down. But also, Kyle, you can have self-defense on both sides. Both sides can claim self-defense. And let's see if this lawyer, this expert lawyer from Georgetown University, says that. So let's see. Let's see what he says.
Does that not, at a minimum, cancel out that little thing that the defense got him to say on the stand?
Nope.
Well, in fact, he was right. Kyle Rittenhouse was an active shooter, and he'd already killed 2 people. What citizens are supposed to do in that situation is to call the police to alert authorities. This witness testified he put his hands in the air, but when he saw Mr. Rittenhouse re-rack his rifle, he was afraid.
I'm curious how he saw that, because he said he re-racked his rifle, but after he put his hands up, he turned around. How did he see him re-rack his rifle? I still never seen it, but anyway.
For his life. The videotape is the star witness in this case. So the jurors will look at the videotape, they'll hear this testimony, and then they'll decide whether they believe this witness or whether they believe Mr. Rittenhouse.
Now, are they going to bring up how many times he lied to other people about this, and including in his $10 million lawsuit against the city of Kenosha, if that even comes up here, because he was destroyed on the stand. He admitted to lying multiple times. He even lied during this because he could contradict himself and had to change his answer several times with the defense. I keep forgetting that this is the prosecution's witness. That's the funny thing about it. They destroyed his ass. Anyway.
Now, in my intro to you, I said that the judge instructed the jury to disregard Grosskretz's description of the shooting of a protester as, quote, murder.
Yeah,
is that because murder is actually there's a legal definition of murder?
Yes, there. Oh, well, wait a minute. You didn't know the answer to this before you even said it? You were complaining about that before you even said it? Yes, it is a legal term, by the way.
That's exactly right. So it's the jury who will decide whether Mr. Rittenhouse is a murderer based on the fact that he killed.
Now, wait a minute. Let me just stop here. He's giving the right answer. But how many people who watch MSNBC would have even listened this far? Or had that stuck in their mind so deep that no matter what this guy says, it doesn't matter? Because they're saying the judge is biased. That's what they're saying. This guy right now is saying that the judge is correct, that is a legal term, and a witness saying it is very prejudicial. Okay, so it seems as though he's giving the right answer.
The first 2 victims.
Real quick. Thank you, C. Thomas, again, for a sponsored show through YouTube Super Chat, who says dishonest coverage and the show trial. Why is this? Dishonest coverage and the show trial are attempts to make self-defense illegal and not worth it. Nah, I think Kyle's going to win this hands down. It's clear. It's one of the most clean-cut self-defense cases probably in a long time. Anyway, here we go.
This case. This judge likes the limelight, and he's micromanaging this case.
He likes the limelight? I don't have any evidence of that. Yeah, give me some evidence of that. Is he doing interviews in between fucking days in the court? Interesting.
This is the same judge who did not allow the victims in this case to be described as victims, even though Mr. Rittenhouse killed 2 of them.
Victim is, again, a term which is given to people who are actually murdered. In a self-defense case, you're not a victim unless the self-defense defense falls flat. So, of course, they're not victims in this case unless this turns out to be he's guilty of murder. Then they're victims again.
The witness who testified today had graphic testimony about how Mr. Rittenhouse blew the bicep off of this man's
irrelevant
arm when he
it
shot
was
him.
In self-defense. It's irrelevant how much damage. If he'd been shot through his nose and it went out his cranium and he was rendered invalid for life, it doesn't matter. It's still self-defense. The damage is irrelevant. It's only relevant if Kyle is found guilty and what kind of sentence you would get if it's a blatant disregard for life. But if it's self-defense, then you know what? What's that saying? Something find out. Yeah.
Let's talk more about this judge because I'm following
the Democratic appointed judge in a very Democratic city
loosely this trial.
Wait a minute, what did he just say? Wait, I'm sorry, I got to go back because he's just said something that I might have to bring out Captain Obvious
about this judge because I'm following loosely.
Captain Obvious. Obviously, you're following it loosely because your facts are wrong from the beginning of this segment. God.
This trial. But everything I hear about this judge...
Everything I hear about this judge. Who do you hear about it from, sir? I'm going to guess that you're hearing about it from Joy Reid, Rachel Maddow. Who's that other guy what's Rachel's Maddow's twin brother? That dude, Chris Hayes. Or I think they're the same person. But anyway, who are you hearing it from? Your colleagues at MSNBC? Everyone. I can't believe I don't know anyone who votes Republican. How could that guy win?
Sort of has planted the seed in my head that...
Oh, they planted a seed in your head? Oh, so the seed planted in your head tells you this judge is biased.
This trial is, sorry to use the word, rigged. That the instructions of the...
Yes, the defense rigged the prosecution rigged the trial for Kyle Rittenhouse because their witnesses suck.
The judge is making it pretty much impossible for the jury to actually consider all the facts and come up with a verdict where justice will be served.
How?
Or am I way out there?
You are way out there.
Not at all, Jonathan. I understand your concerns. Remember, this judge also ruled that the victims could be referred to as looters, arsonists, and rioters if there's evidence that is presented that they did those things.
The last part of his sentence was, if there is evidence they did those things. However, to be labeled a victim, you must have evidence and a verdict that there was a crime. In all 50 states and D.C. and U.S. territories, if you can prove self-defense and you are acquitted, those people are no longer victims by law.
So far, no evidence at all. Mr. Grosskreutz was a trained EMT officer.
And have they called him anything as a rioter or a criminal or a arsonist? Or did they do that to Grosskreutz at all? Now, they did prove he was a liar.
Right.
There to offer medical aid. Rittenhouse's first victim wasn't a protester. He was a man who just been released from a psychiatric hospital who seemed to be having a mental health crisis. And so...
Oh, my God. That aggressive little prick who had checked himself into the mental hospital for something about a suicide, which they haven't been able to, and notice they haven't been able to say that in the trial. They have the defense has not brought up his mental illness. You know what? Not part of the trial. So I don't even know why this guy's talking about that. It's not part of the trial. They haven't admitted that. In fact, they specifically were forbidden from admitting that unless the prosecution opens that door. Oh yeah, they forgets convicted pedophile. that's. I mean, I shouldn't laugh at that particular term, but you know, he is.
When the judge allows these victims to be described as criminals,
but they haven't been described as criminals, have they? Have you seen it? Who's this lawyer? What's his name? I don't care what his name is. They haven't. They haven't done it, even though if they could provide evidence that those people did some things, they can describe them that way. They haven't even, the defense hasn't even done that.
That certainly calls into question his judgment.
Really?
If
Does
not
it
his
now?
bias.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. That's okay. Enough of that. Wait, what the hell? How do I get, okay, I want to get off of this, and I can't. God damn it. There's a pause button.
Thank you for coming,
pause button's
Internet.
not working. Stop. I'm going to close that. You can get it from the tweet. Here, what I'll do is I'll give you the link. And so anyway, so they did talk more about the trial than I expected. I'll just pause it. Okay, you'll have that link, maybe. All right, I just want to have it so the link's there. All right, we'll pause that. All right, so if you want to go back and watch that or make fun of the anchor there, please make fun of him all you can. Yeah, the Cope Israel. You're right, C. Thomas. So anyway, so let's continue down this this shit path. Oh, what the hell did I do there? Oh, I haven't done it yet. Let's go there, and we're gonna make this a little bigger. So now, that was the first article that was up. So they did talk about the trial, but when you look at this, I didn't think that was about the trial. But it's really weird that was their big take this morning when I first looked at Twitter and saw this, that their big take was that the judge's bias. What does that have to do with yesterday's part of the trial? But they did talk about it, and it's so funny that they skirted around the parts about, the pointing the gun and all that, but whatever. The second case that was here. Now this one I'm not going to go into the article, even though I'm going to have it as part of the tabs today, or maybe I'll just get a headline. But this was really interesting because this is the BBC, right? BBC World. And normally when you look at headlines of articles, they try to it's almost like they want you to read the article. But this one, listen to this. All they tweeted was, Wisconsin man shot by Kyle Rittenhouse pointed a gun at him. It's almost like they don't want you to read the article because it's such a boring little tweet. And then the title, the headline is Wisconsin. Let's see. Let's look at this. Here it is. BBC News. Man shot by Kyle Rittenhouse says he pointed a gun. Oh my God. Pointed own gun amid fears for his life. Okay, so he can. And again, and I'm listening a lot to the lawyers. Yes, he could, in theory, have a self-defense claim against Kyle Rittenhouse, right? However, Kyle Rittenhouse also can have a self-defense claim against Gage Grosskreutz. Both sides could claim self-defense in this, okay? So maybe he could do that, but it doesn't matter. Does it negate him pointing the gun amid fears of his life? Does not negate Kyle Rittenhouse's self-defense claim. So it'd be interesting to see the instructions of the jurors. In fact, I think the judge already said that, yes, it is possible. It's possible because you're based on what you are thinking, not on what the other person is thinking. Okay, and there's no way for Kyle to know that this guy thought he was an active shooter or what. Doesn't matter. He can still claim self-defense because the guy pointed a gun at him. So, so they're probably going through that part of it. Let me see. I'm just going to skim through this. He said he thought Rittenhouse was an active shooter, which a lot of people are highlighting that. A lot of them not highlighting the parts that the defense got him to admit, but they love talking about what the prosecution got him to say, which was very rehearsed and dramatic. So he was arguing that he was, lawyers for Rittenhouse say he was acting in self-defense. He has denied 6 charges, including reckless homicide, blah, blah, blah. At least they call it riots. Riot erupted in Kenosha. That's good. But here it is. Here's the most important line of every one of these articles. BBC riots erupted in Kenosha in August 2020 after police shot a black man. Mr. Rittenhouse had traveled to the city, blah, blah, blah. Well, so did Grosskreutz. Grosskreutz lived farther away than Kyle did. Grosskreutz was the protest volunteering as a medic and said in the court, well, it's weird, a medic running around a scene like this who's basically live streaming the whole time, and he's armed with a pistol, and he never really does any medical aid for people. In fact, one place there was a girl who was injured or something, and someone was helping helped, patch her up, and he told them not to let those people touch her because they're just with the other side. But then he didn't render aid to this person. Like he was there. Oh, I was there to be a medic, and he never did any medicing. That's not a word, but whatever. Okay, so they. Bystander video captures Rittenhouse being chased in the car to a car park of a used car dealership. Moments later, unseen video. Rittenhouse fires 4 times, kills Mr. Rosenbaum. He runs down the street away from the scene. Rittenhouse falls, and multiple people converge him. Okay, so they're kind of just giving facts, but still, it's hilarious that their headline is this guy who had lied multiple times in the stand. All right, moving on. Then there was the New York Times article. Now, I haven't looked at this article either, and I'm running out of time here, but I am going to have it up here in the what do you call it? Here, let's see if they've already archived this. Let's see. Fantastic. It's there. So we'll see the New York Times coverage. I'm not going to go through it, but their headline, or tweet at least, their tweet. Now, again, painting the picture of based on what your narrative is going to be. The New York Times tweets, Gage Grosskreutz, the only person who survived being shot by Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha, Wisconsin, testified for several hours on Monday. His account underscored the challenge prosecutors face in disproving Rittenhouse's self-defense claims. Now, the New York Times has just admitted that sentence. They know that Kyle's going to be acquitted, at least on the murder charges. Okay? They just admitted it because his account, his lies on court, underscored the challenge prosecutors face. Okay, and I made this comment earlier on Twitter, but a challenge is avoiding the iceberg. Okay? The prosecution in this case with this witness, they were transporting a very poorly made IED, okay? And it blew up in their faces. Anyway, and then the New York Times headline, man shot by Kyle Rittenhouse describes the encounter in Kenosha. Okay, hang on a second. I'll look at describes the encounter on a Kenosha street. Okay, so that's very just the facts, man. The testimony underscores the prosecutor's challenge in disproving the self-defense claim. Grace Grosskreutz, who was armed while shot while responding to an earlier shooting. Okay, at least they get out that he was armed very quickly in this article. What's going on in your mind at a particular moment? Okay, so they're doing bingers is the prosecution's questioning first. I thought I was going to die. Okay, that's fair. I mean, honestly, if there were a case where he shot Kyle, he certainly also could claim self-defense and probably win that case, to be honest with you, even if he did run Kyle down thinking he was an active shooter. But that did not happen. So they, like I said, both sides between Grosskreutz and Kyle, depending on the outcome of that encounter, both sides can claim self-defense in a court of law with legitimacy. I'm just saying, I got to get that out. But did they, under cross-examination, okay, let's see. Why, they did, okay, they got why he falsely told police detectives shortly after the shooting that Glock pistol had fallen out of his holster that night, rather than saying he pulled it out as visual evidence showed. Okay, you can read that one yourself. It gets you very detailed if you're not watching the case. So far, it looks very factual, and they're probably going to go into why he was a terrible witness. What's this? Oh, let's see. Jacob, the prosecution witness said Ironman and Coach that night. Oh, and they were talking about how Mr. Rosenbaum was a babbling idiot, downplaying the threat that Mr. Rosenbaum might have posed to Mr. Rittenhouse. Well, how would he know? He wasn't there. All right, anyway, next, Fox News. Now, Fox News annoyed me here too, even though of the articles that I saw this morning, this was the first one that actually kind of sort of described the, what the hell is this? Okay, there's different statements. The Fox News at least actually gave you a factual statement on what happened in this testimony. Their tweet is, Kyle Rittenhouse trial Shooting victim Gage Grosskreutz says he was pointing his gun at young man. Now, Fox News, stop it. You know what you did there. You pulled a Trayvon Martin there, okay? You, instead of just describing him as Kyle Rittenhouse or the defendant, calling him young man, which he factually is, but you know that calling him young man infantilizes him and it is sympathetic to him. If you are being a news organization like you try to be in the most part, you would not say at young man, you would say at defendant or at Kyle Rittenhouse. Period. Not good form Fox News. However, their coverage is a little bit more factual in the fact that they go into a little more how Gage Grosskreutz was just a terrible witness for the prosecution. But I think they, let's see, the video played to the jury now shows Paris running side by side. I mean, they give you most of the factual stuff here, but I think they're going to at least show more of the the defense's case and so on and so forth. And then the last one I noticed that I commented on this morning, and this will be the last one we do here today. YouTube Sentry, my chats just got here. Hello, Fight for Your Rights, by the way. And if you've come here while I've been talking, I haven't noticed just because I'm really into this right now. And so I apologize, but thank you so much for being here if I haven't said hi yet. Now, the last one I noticed this morning was AJ Plus, a.k.a. Al Jazeera Plus, a.k.a. for whatever reason, super left-wing news outlet. And this one is also hilarious, and you'll see why when we go through it. Okay, here's AJ Plus, a protester and volunteer medic who was shot by Kyle Rittenhouse, says he thought the teen was an active shooter when he tried to disarm him. Wait a minute. I thought it was Kyle Rittenhouse who disarmed Gage Grosskreutz. Thank you. I'll only be here for a few more minutes. Anyway, and I've listened to the testimony. I had to go back and listen to the testimony over and over and over. He never said anything about disarming Gage Grosskreutz. Never said anything about trying to disarm Kyle Rittenhouse. Never once did he say he tried to disarm Kyle Rittenhouse, even if Kyle Rittenhouse disarmed him. I did it again. Oh no! Stop saying that, Marty. It's not funny. It's only funny when Ranty Monkey calls him UNICEF. Anyway, the teen shot Gage Grosskreutz in the arm, tearing most of his bicep, and faces life in prison if convicted on the most serious charge. Okay, the rest of that is factual, but it didn't say anything about trying to disarm Kyle. That's just another fantasy made up bullshit that they must have been watching that guy on MSNBC, because I watched it and I would remember that, and the idea that he tried to disarm him would be disproved by the video evidence and photograph evidence and everything else in this trial. He obviously did not try to disarm Kyle Rittenhouse. That's a pile of bullshit. In fact, the MSNBC said it, he was shot when his hands were up. Is this another hands up, don't shoot situation? I don't know. But it certainly is a crock of bullshit. So anyway, but if you are on Twitter, just put Kyle Rittenhouse in the search, or you don't have to do that because it's did they take it off the main? That was their biggest thing on here today. So you have to go into what's happening, or if you go to Explore, they've taken it off the main page, it looks like. And it's not even in. Oh, so when you click on Twitter, if you click Explore, it usually has their most important stories, and it is no longer anywhere near the top. Let's see if it's in the news section. You know what's funny? Okay, you know when it's going bad for a narrative. So this is the news section of Twitter right now. The U.S. Supreme Court takes on 2 important cases. Hashtag Robin Hood and Coulter. Bloomberg opinion: the vaccine protecting girls and boys from. Here's the vaccine protecting girls and boys from cancer. Oh, that's a new one. Don't. I don't believe it. COVID-19, 5 vaccine. Texas teen driver who struck cyclist with a truck. Walked free, finally charged. Travis Scott, Kamala Harris, Astroworld victims, Elon Musk, missing girls rescued, secret tape of something. Travis Scott, melting something under Uber shortage, big oil, Astroworld, 25-year-old nothing at all about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. That's freaking hilarious. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you. It's the spin on some of these stories, though. It's incredible to me. It's incredible. Does the Supreme Court take on unimportant cases? You get a bell and a clap just for that, AD. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put myself through this torture some more as I drive around today, and I appreciate all of you who've joined me today. Before you do anything, stop, don't click yet. Damn, I always got to tell you that. Hit the like button first, please. Just you know how it works. Hello, Rusty Shaq and Sheograth, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. Hit the like button, share the stream before, during, after the stream, and if you thank you for the people who sponsored the show today. That would be Teresa the Kid, Gamer Valine, C. Thomas, and Maddie. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. You are invaluable in my life work, and I appreciate you greatly. Y'all, I want you to have a wonderful day. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and so I'll be here tomorrow. Oh, Furry Kitten, thank you so much. I'll real quick, I'll get this last donation, and then we'll get out of here. Furry Kitten, thank you for another bullet who says they won't even allow the court to refer to them as victims. On the other hand, bringing up the relationship between one of the victims and the proclivities of one Mr. Blake specifically is prejudiced and illegal. Oh yeah, so I'm friends with Jacob Blake and I was even near him in the hospital, blah, 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 whatever. Nobody cares. So anyway, thank you Furry Kitten for sponsoring the show. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad we've had this time together. Just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seem we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining me. See you tomorrow. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.